So here you are, studying for college finals in your dorm room. Studying is hard, but not when you have your favorite podcast to listen to. Oh, what's that? You just ran out of podcasts? Well, good luck studying with your roommate, singing with headphones like he's trying out for The Voice.
Bismillah, no, we will not let him go, let him go!
If only you subscribe to the AAA Podcast Extra content, you'd still be bopping along to our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties. You might not be able to play video games during finals, but at least you can hear us talk about them. And you wouldn't have had to kill your roommate. Don't kill your roommate. Head over to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon today and support the podcast. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. I need to get myself some more podcasts.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello and welcome to the 625th episode, what a nice round number, of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we try to make your anime addiction better.
So much worse!
No, it's actually much worse than ever. But thank you for joining us, and my name is Caroline, leading the ship today, along with Mason. Hello, Mason.
Hello, that's me. Moving on. No, nothing to see here. No one.
Okay, bye, Mason. And Mitsugi.
How's everybody doing? I have a full gallon of water right here.
Nice.
I'm going to drink this
You
whole
get to
gallon.
hydrate here.
I'm going to drink it during the podcast. And I also have a screwdriver in a mason jar. Yeah.
Gotta get your vitamin C in, right? That's what I
Didn't you
always
say it was
say.
a protein shake?
I drank the protein shake already. You got to get your proteins. You got to get your carbs. You know, no fats involved. It's shrimp basket night, baby. Got to hit that hard.
Well, that is good to hear. I am currently on a high of just trying to grow basil for the first time. That is
Get
the
it.
newest,
Get
biggest thing in my life. I don't have children and I don't have pets, but damn it, this plant is gonna grow.
Caroline is getting high growing basil. Excessive air quotes around it.
you can't put weed in a delicious panini. It grows.
Liquid hot
You can't
basil.
make pesto out of weed. So we're making basil.
Well, it's okay. You come to Colorado, I'll take you out to a dispensary. You can buy weed soda, weed candy, weed chocolate, weed. You can buy
No,
weed. You can buy
not
weed
basil.
plants. Weed basil. It looks like a weed. You can't kill it.
I would rather
tasty
basil.
Basil good. Anyway.
Thank you for joining us. We don't typically talk about weed on this podcast exclusively. We talk about anime, and you can get even more of your anime fix through our social media, like Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. We're obviously here on Twitch every Sunday at 5 p.m. EDT, and we are also on Discord, where it's just popping off all the time.
It has
Don't
been very
you say?
active lately. We have some new blood there, and they are leading the charge. Very active, very energetic, and I appreciate it.
It's so nice. They're taking bets on which shows we're going to pass for impressions.
my
They're
God.
getting into all sorts of shenanigans, and it's been a blast. So join the Discord now more than ever. It's really kicking off.
Yeah, you're never going to figure us out, so
It's
don't
kind
bother.
of irritating, to be honest. The conversations are great, but I keep on opening the app after maybe a couple hours, and then there's like 400 messages in the anime channel of our Discord. It's like, I can't keep up. I really can't. So, but that
Someday
is
you
all
will.
that you can enjoy is constant conversation. Now, this episode, we are going to continue with my jelly bean eating game. I ate 32 last week based on these rules here.
Could have been more.
Yeah, it
I'll
should
try
have
harder.
been more. Yeah. No, please don't. Last week was hard. So I'll eat a jelly bean whenever somebody makes a reference that I am not familiar with. Somebody mentions an anime that I have not watched. When somebody, Mitsuki, makes an inappropriate joke. And when either of you make a fitness reference, because that will happen. And then jelly bean will be eaten.
At least you have food. There are anime where they just don't have food.
You guys want to see the jar?
Yeah, let me see the jar.
You got the jar right here.
Fantastic. You know, if you were in the post-apocalyptic future of Future Boy Conan, you wouldn't be able to even have any food to eat jelly beans. I expect you'll be eating one right now because I don't think you've seen Future Boy Conan.
Oh, damn it. I wasn't paying attention, but yes, I shall eat a jelly bean. Here we go.
That's right. All right.
I love it. Anyway.
Yeah.
What are we doing this
What
episode?
are we actually doing this episode? I'm sorry, I'm eating a jelly bean. You guys want to take it away?
Yeah, I can do this. We're gonna be doing a main topic, ranking a top 10 list of villains that we either think are better than, or we like more, or root for more than the main character. We also are doing an unexplored pictures of a new Netflix movie that just came out, as well as beginning round 1 of our spring 2022 impressions. So these will be talking about the first couple episodes of the new shows and deciding which ones we will pass for reviews. So big stuff happening. Should be fun.
Wonderful. Okay, let's get into the big news of the week then.
It's time for big news of the week.
I had nothing.
Right, Mitsuki.
Nothing.
Yep.
I got nothing.
Yep.
Listen, my mother was in town. There were all these friends in town.
Blame it on Betsy.
No time for
Classic.
anything. And it's just tough. So, but beyond that, there was nothing. There was really nothing all that interesting in the news today. So, fuck it. It's all on you guys. Carry the cart. You know, I'm just along for the ride. Caroline.
All right.
Blame It on Betsy sounds like a great sitcom.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, we got quite a surprise during our after party last week because Betsy came into screen. I've never seen her before, and it was like seeing a celebrity. It was great.
I'm sure she would thank you for that.
Well, maybe she's in the chat right now.
She's not.
No
She's on
idea.
an airplane right now.
Oh, damn. I guess we do have an idea then.
He's not paying the deluxe Delta charge to stream us in the air. For shame.
No, I'm pretty sure she's on Frontier. I think they.
Oh yeah, they're not getting anything.
I think they're lucky to even have like seats on that airplane. So there's definitely no like fancy.
You don't pay extra for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we keep on distracting you. What's the big news?
Okay, so you might have heard, but a voice actor named Billy Kametz actually just got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, which is absolutely horrible. I can only imagine what that must be like. Just suddenly your life gets switched upside down and you find out that you have a very debilitating condition. And so, yes, he was recently diagnosed. He started chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and he's been out of the hospital for about 2 weeks. And in other news, a GoFundMe campaign was launched on his behalf that will go toward travel, insurance costs, medical bills not covered by insurance, and everyday life necessities. As of my last checking, $84,000 of the $100,000 goal has been raised, which is amazing. And I can only imagine that is, with a lot of help from the many fans that he has accumulated through his works. Like he was Josuke in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. He was Naofumi in The Rising of the Shield Hero, Gallo in Promare, the White Blood Cell in Cells at Work, and Rui in Demon Slayer. So a lot of great roles that he's done. Unfortunately, he will have to take a break from voiceover work for obvious reasons. He has voice actors replacing him for any current and ongoing roles, and he'll be moving back home with his family to, try to take care of himself. So, I really hope that he's going to be, doing well in the future, at least, as well as he can be.
Yeah, it's disappointing, and hopefully things will turn around for him, and he'll be able to get back to doing what he loves. So
yeah. So, that's it for that.
Lift us up, Mason, where we belong.
My big news is certainly one of hope and aspirations that I have. And that is Golden Kamui's author relaunches their ice hockey manga.
Oh my God. Okay.
So
Pride of Orange?
Tell me more.
Pride of Orange? Let's hope not. So
Pride of
Satoru Noda's first manga before he would go on to create Golden Kamuy is quite a mouthful. It's called Supin Amarada. Supin Amarada. Sound it out and you'll figure out what it's called. But yeah, he pretty much worked as a assistant for a decade before he started this, and it tells a story about hockey in his town of Hokkaido, which if you've seen anything about Golden Kamuy, you know that that's near and dear to his heart. And it ran for like a year and a half, and it was pretty much a complete failure. Like, no one really read it, no one really liked it, and it ran for 6 volumes before it stopped. Subsequently, he did Golden Kamuy. It got massive. It's had multiple seasons. I think season 4 will be coming out in the future, so it's got a lot of love. And with that, he's kind of returning back to his first manga. And, so Golden Kamuy was adapted into an anime after 13 volumes. So there's a chance that, he takes his fame and fortune and good acclaim, starts working on the ice hockey thing, and people are like, man, this guy might be up to something else that's good. Maybe we should adapt this too, and we might get... I'm just hoping that this kind of focus on him brings us another hockey anime that doesn't have fruit in the title, as Caroline alluded to. So,
yeah,
Supina Murata. I've not read it. Ice hockey is all you need to get my attention. Let's hope. Let's hope for the best. Can anime redeem itself?
So, but you don't know anything.
No.
But there's no information about this manga.
No.
I mean, it's one of your classic. Oh, I think this guy was like a figure skater and he turned into a hockey player. Like it's
That's like the Disney DCOM. Go figure.
I know. Why don't we get Airbud anime? When is that going to become a thing?
I'm not talking about Airbud. I'm talking about Go
I know,
Figure.
but Airbud's great. I don't know much about the hockey manga, but
Airbud is great. I appreciate it.
It's a thing. It's certainly a thing. I'll give it that much. And I hope Supina Murata gets some traction and becomes an anime because, geez, I want it so much.
Yeah, it would be really nice because sports anime are one of my favorite genres, and we have yet to have a real hockey sports anime, I would say. So I'll be hopeful. I'm gonna fall into that trap again. And if it's bad, I will never trust a hockey anime again.
There we go. Well, first it needs to become a manga again, so we'll see.
We have a long way to go.
Some time off. But there's hope. There's hope out there. It's being made, and let's see what happens. So check that out if you read manga.
All right.
All right.
That's all we got.
Shall we get into our main topic for today?
Yeah. We did collaborate as the lovely hosts that we are.
A lot of discussion.
And we were trying to think of a top 10 list for you because everyone loves a top 10 list. I don't think we have. Do we have numbers? Oh, we do have numbers all the way from 10. Fantastic. So we have a top 10 list of top 10 villains that are better than the main characters in which they appear. So I think that about covers it. Am I right?
Yeah, it was kind of loosely defined between villains that were just you like more, that you cheer for. Like, I was trying to pick ones that didn't just have like a terrible main character, but sometimes that was the case. So I think we'll just talk about where we like the villains more than the main character for whatever reason that is.
So we'll do this in a top 10 list. I think the way we'll do it is we'll just take turns picking. So save your big time winners for the end. We're not going to get to all of these because we have, I see, 12 on the list here. So we will have maybe some honorable mentions at the end. So, but I'm going to go first. And I'm going to pick the one on my list that I think is the least good because that's how we'll just do this rather than aggregating. So. And we do have a countdown from 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
So we have 12.
We'll do honorable mentions at the end.
Those honorable mentions would be the top ones on our list.
I'll make one of mine an honorable mention.
Yeah.
How about we just start off as these as the honorable mentions?
I think it'd be easier to see what's left over at the end. Because do you really know?
Whatever.
Sure.
Caroline, she's spicy.
I just don't understand of it. Let's just go with it.
Okay, spicy.
Anarchy.
Number 10 for me is going to be the viruses and the bacteria from Cells at Work are better than the immune system characters. in Cells at Work. And honestly, Cells at Work got so tiresome that I just kind of wanted to see an episode where like the virus just takes down the body and just wipes it out, which would be kind of interesting. It never happened to my knowledge, but
I mean, Cells at Work Black gets pretty close. That was like the more like adult themed one where there was like,
yeah,
lots, yeah. Oh, scandalous.
Heroin.
Pretty much, but that one was definitely doom and gloom for quite a long stretch of it.
Yeah, I just there's so many villains in the Cells at Work sort of anime and they're all different and kind of cool and fun, and some of them are kind of sympathetic, and I just get tired of the same same routine in that anime, and I just wanted to see like a good mix up. So for me, the heroes in Cells at Work are not all that compelling, and sometimes you just want to see anarchy break loose. So you just want to see
didn't like the immune
anarchy.
system. You just didn't like the immune system because there are platelets there, and they're moe.
Well, I did enjoy watching the platelets get sucked out of that wound in that one episode. That was pretty fun. So, but that was early in the days of Cells at Work. So, Mason, would you like to do number 9?
Yeah, number 9. We'll make it. Which one do I want to do? I'm gonna do
hard choices.
This is a close one. We're going old school a bit. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go to the days of Ashita no Joe.
Oh, shit!
Classic throwback. And Rikishi, Joe's main rival for most of the show, I like a whole lot more than Joe. Joe is an uppity, whiny, just self-absorbed, smug asshole, if we're being nice about it. And I really don't like him. I really don't like Joe as a character. I think Ashita no Joe 2, I enjoyed a lot better when he grows and matures and learns and evolves and becomes a good human. But for most of the first season, I just really would want Rikishi to pound Joe's face in. And he does it quite a lot, and it's satisfying. So for those who you have seen it, you know that Joe is not great. And that's kind of, I mean, he's a good character, just not one I root for. So
he's just a dick. Is that like I haven't seen Ashita no Joe, so is he just? Have you seen Ashita no Joe, Caroline?
I haven't. So I ate a jelly bean.
Oh, was it good? Did it taste good?
No, this was one of the worst jelly beans.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Not as bad as licorice, but
I think we should get. I think that we should get Caroline some jelly beans where they're all the same flavor, except like 5% of them taste like dog poo or like those jelly beans that taste bad.
No, there was
just leave it at I have 1,000 jelly beans I need to eat at some point. How about we just leave it at that?
Oh.
They made the Harry Potter ones, the every flavor ones that were full of like vomit and stuff like that. I had those. They were fine.
Do you think we should order Caroline some crumble cookies or something to cheer her up? Like, I just feel like something sad is happening.
I think he's good on sugar.
It's really, I don't know. I'm just feeling like off today. Just like one of those days where
do you want a grilled cheese sandwich?
In the synapses of my brain.
Well, DoorDash you some grilled cheese sandwich. We can do that.
What?
Grilled cheese sandwich?
Oh, that would be nice. But yeah, really, I'm good.
Not even a Hot Pocket?
Actually, I'm not a huge fan of Hot Pockets. I've had like a couple of them in my lifetime.
Terrible.
And they always fall
breakfast
short.
Hot Pockets aren't bad. Okay? They're not terrible.
You know, I can imagine those being better than the regular Hot Pockets. It's like
They
whenever on that one occasion I had a Hot Pocket, I'm like, okay, I'm expecting flavor, and I didn't get any flavor.
Will it burn your mouth?
All I got was hot Pockets. It was just hot.
Come on, what's the line? Will it burn your mouth? It'll destroy
Jim Gaffigan, you got it.
It'll
destroy your mouth. Will the inside be ice cold?
Definitely feeling the screwdriver. All right, Ashita no Joe.
Okay.
He's a handsome devil.
Yeah.
He's a handsome devil. And we appreciate him, but he's also an asshole, so fuck you. All right. Caroline.
Okay.
Number 8.
What I would put into number 8 is Nero in Angelo in 91 Days. So Nero is the villain. Angelo is the protagonist. If you are not aware of what 91 Days is, it is a mafia drama set in the Prohibition era. It's a very good show. We did it for Anime Club, and I love this show so much. Angelo is not a terrible main character. He's just very he's set on revenge against Nero and the mafia family for killing his family when he was younger. They don't know who Angelo is, so he kind of gets on the inside of the family and tries to set up a plan where he kills everyone that killed his family. Angelo is not a bad protagonist. He's just very set on revenge. He doesn't really have much of a personality other than that. Nero, on the other hand, is very charismatic. Even though he is one of the people who killed Angelo's family, Angelo starts to enjoy being around him more than not.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was real good, Mitz.
You like that?
You could be a mafia boss.
That was solid done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All in all, Nero is made to be more likable to the viewer than Angelo is because he has an actual personality. So yeah, that's definitely a great villain in ways. He's not. I guess he's kind of a villain.
Okay. Another anime I haven't seen, so maybe I should be eating some jelly. You know what? I'll take a drink. How about that?
Yeah. It is basically a drinking game, just with jelly beans.
All right, back to me.
Number 7.
Wow. Number 7. Where do we go from here? I am going to say... You know what? Okay, I got this. I'm going to say Benny Suzume from Knights of Sidonia. Caroline? Is that a jelly bean for you?
Oh, God, I forget. I'm sorry.
Benny Suzume from Knights of Sidonia. I liked it/her, whatever it is, better than Nagato. So in Knights of Sidonia, which is like a CG anime from Polygon Pictures that I would like to see more of, actually, to be honest. It's kind of interesting. That's a pretty decent, interesting sort of world they've built. But in that anime, there is a character named Hoshijiro, who's like this really cute girl character who's like a trainee on like this like spaceship, and I think she has like a pretty good romantic moment with the main character Nagate in that anime, if I'm not mistaken. This anime came out like 8 years ago, but you know, I think they even like have like a kissing scene when they get trapped in like the ship together out in space. Well, this is spoilers, but honestly, it's kind of old at this point. And if you like the anime, you'll like it anyway, regardless of the spoiler. But Hoshijiro dies, and she gets taken over by, or like these like alien sort of presence takes her likeness and turns it into a monster that pilots a ship that is almost like, I would liken it to when Sarah Kerrigan gets taken over by the Zerg in StarCraft. She's very much like still humanoid, but she's like half alien. And Benny Suzume is like this character that's like really cute in this strange way, almost like in like a fetishistic way, because she's still humanoid, but she's like half monster, and she's like they capture it, and she doesn't really know how to like sort of respond to stimuli. She's not quite able to like communicate with humans. And then by the way, Benny Suzume is like a type of moth in Japanese, so she's got like, I feel like she's got like an antenna and stuff. I don't know. But I just recall watching this, and I didn't want Nagate to defeat her in aerial combat in an anime, because I kind of wanted her to win, because she's just like really cute, and I liked her as a character and as a villain and as a monster in that anime. But, you know, you don't always get what you want. But I'd like to see more Knights of Sidonia. I see that it has a movie that I haven't seen. Maybe I should pick that up, because I kind of dig that world, even though the CG was kind of early in Polygon Pictures' like run of CG. Like, it didn't look nearly as good as Ajin. But I still feel like it was better than most, even though they were kind of new at it. So if you haven't seen Knights of Sidonia and you want to get like a high sci-fi, like sort of out of outer space, like, you know, action show, there's some pretty fucking good action scenes of like ships fighting in Knights of Sidonia, so it might be worth checking out. But yeah, I think I'd rather have the villain win in that instance. So that is number 7. And now
Number 6.
Oh, speaking of Ajin,
yeah,
like I was even thinking about Ajin for this list, just because I remember Kay, I think that's the main character's name.
Mm-hmm.
He's just such an asshole that like almost the villain's kind of more likable than him.
Are you an Ajin fan?
I watched Ajin the first and second season. I even read the manga past, and I realized the second season like completely went off course from the manga. And then I stopped the manga at some point. Maybe it was just, getting a little too wacky for me. But for a while, it was good.
Because I thought I recalled you saying you were a big fan of Ajin, but I couldn't really remember. I like Ajin. I thought it was really cool.
I don't think I was like raving. It's a good show, and I did
it
enjoy
was
it,
good
but I
enough
can't
that you
really
read
remember
it.
a ton of it. I think the last time I was talking about it, it was during our, if you can remember, the anime plot game. And then we had
Yeah.
to think of, and then we had to talk about it as much as we remembered.
Yeah, Ajin 1 was actually pretty decent, and Ajin 2 was trash. It was
Yeah.
not
Oh,
good.
no.
They changed the story.
It was a clear decline. And like, yeah, the CG in it still was pretty solid. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It was just not well written.
All right, well, what's next?
Honorable mention.
Number 6?
Do you have an honorable one that you want? Wait.
No. I just meant that as we kind of went off topic.
Yeah,
that could be
gotcha.
an honorable mention.
I see. Let's go with a show that most people probably have heard of. And my cop-out answer for number 6 will be Izaya from Durarara, which is kind of a cop-out because there really isn't a main character in that show. It's just a whole big crew. If you've ever seen Baccano, this is done by the same guy, where it's just a whole cast of people, and you're not really sure who you're supposed to be cheering for. But one thing is for certain, that Izaya is not a force of good, but he is fun to have in the show because he is like the generator of all the chaos and catastrophe. And while he is kind of a jerk in the way that we don't like Joe from that show, he is part of what gets a lot of the motions in play. He puts the pieces on the board, whether they're, the 8,000 game pieces that he puts on his like chess, Othello, checkers, whatever it is board. And it's fun.
Othello.
He puts so much on there. He puts I think shogi and go on there. He's just a wild man, and he thrives in the chaos, and he's part of what makes that show tick and have that life and personality. So he was crucial to that show. He was fun to have around, and Durarara is a pretty fun time. So there you go.
What is his rival's name again? The one with the refrigerator.
The one that he always
The
calls
what?
out like
Blonde guy with
Izaya,
glasses.
Shizuo. Was that it?
Yes, I like him better than Izaya. Because they are a good combo, but like he's just, I don't know. There's something about
need
that
one another.
refrigerator.
They need one another
No,
for sure.
It's a vending machine.
Yeah.
He brings the snacks.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
snacks.
I like him.
Vending machine san, my favorite character.
Yeah, definitely.
Are we ready for number 5?
Are we?
I think so.
Number 5.
We're ready.
So I was having trouble thinking of good shows that had a villain that was even better than there are plenty of great villains, but there has to be a good division between them and the protagonist, that the protagonist does not has to be not very good. And one of those good examples I can come up with was Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about the show, you know that main character is so forgettable. His name's Albert. He does not do much except, fall into traps and complain. So he's there. So obviously any villain's going to outdo him. And the Count just hands it to him in spades. Like, the Count is just so freaking good. It also helps that this is also a revenge story, and the Count has a reason to be evil. And multiple reasons, in fact. Yes, evil.
An evil petting zoo?
Yeah. So there's a lot to like about the guy. He's handsome. He's suave. He is an
Debonair.
alien of sort. So yeah, he's great, and that's why he's on this list. And we shall get to the next one,
Oh, wow.
because I don't want to get into spoilers with this show.
So
Okay.
we're going to move on and not think about the reference that I might have missed.
I respect it.
Number 4.
Oh damn it! I probably should take a jelly bean for that.
You don't have to. It's okay.
All right.
No,
for
I
me-
need to. I need to
for
follow
me-
the rules.
Number 4 is Makoto Shishio and Kenshin. Where do I start with Makoto Shishio? He is one of the coolest villains I think that exist in anime. Period. I would pick him over most heroes in anime. Voiced by Steve Bloom, born on August 13th in the fiery summer of 1848. Rurouni Kenshin, right? So Shishio is the villain from the Kyoto arc of Rurouni Kenshin. He's the primary villain of Rurouni Kenshin. He's the guy that has bandages over the entirety of his body, 100% of his body.
He's a dude that just looks like Shredder, but with tape.
Yes, with the hair, with his hair tufting out from like his head and under his bandages. Because
not an insult to anybody, by the way. Just that's how he looks.
He was burned. So Shishio was burned. And that's why he has so many like bandages. So he's super powerful, and he has like a sword that it has so much human fat on it from all the people that he's killed that he's able to light the sword on fire while he fights. And that's so fucking awesome. And and at this point in Kenshin, in Rurouni Kenshin, Kenshin is pretty powerful. I mean, he's sort of unlocked his Batosai sort of mantra or form enough times at this point that he's almost able to recall it. But this guy takes on Kenshin, and he takes on Seijiro Hiko and all the other, sort of allies at that point in time, all by himself, and he's just unbelievably badass. And like I said, he's voiced by Steve Bloom, so he's got the voice, he's got the look of the bandages, he looks like a fucking mummy, and like a samurai mummy, and he's got like the super hot like girl character that's always with him, and she's a badass too. Yumi, her name is Komagata. She's in the show quite a lot. And I like Kenshin a lot too, and I like Sonosuke and all the others. I have a pretty cool Sonosuke anime cell, actually, of like his head bleeding that I should probably get framed. But Shishio is just super cool, and there aren't very many villains more badass than Makoto Shishio, and more fucking insane. I mean, he is totally nuts. So, yeah, I would definitely, call upon Shishio in a conversation of coolest villains. So, easy pick. I like Kenshin a lot, but yeah, Shishio is just a little cooler. So, and if you guys haven't seen the Kyoto arc of Rurouni Kenshin, it's worth watching for sure. That's the section where Sonosuke learns the Futai no Kiyoami, the double impact punch, where he hits it with his knuckles. He'll punch with his knuckles twice. Like he'll hit with like his second with his second knuckle, and then he'll hit with his third knuckle on his hand. Caroline's imitating, and it's the second knuckle. Caroline.
Is that how it works?
No, the second knuckle.
Hit like this, and then again like that.
Yeah, like that.
That seems like a great way to break your fingers.
And so the logic is that the first impact reduces all of the object's natural resistance, and then the second impact just obliterates anything you hit. And
is
so
that
there's
supported
some
by science?
absolute not really. Yeah, definitely not. But there's some absolutely unfucking believable fight scenes in this Kyoto arc. I mean, it is off the chain. So, and then after that, the show becomes dog shit. So you can stop watching after the end of the Kyoto arc, because all the rest of it's just filler garbage. But yeah, it's a pretty cool.
It should have just ended with Shishio winning. Over.
It should have, and he just takes over Japan and burns everything. Yeah, because he's totally crazy. So yeah, that is peak shonen awesomeness. So check that out if you have a chance. And now it's time for, what are we on, number 3?
Yeah.
Number 3.
So before I feel regretful. I talked about Ashino Joe earlier, and I was like, oh, Joe's so bad. He's kind of a terrible character, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think give Rikishi the benefit that he deserves from being, like, wise and, like, just the coolest dude around. Like, I didn't sell him as being awesome enough. For this next one, it's another throwback, another old school one. This one is kind of in the same situation, where the main character is also just a snotty brat who is super annoying, and the villain, who's really a villain, not just a rival, but like the bad guy, is really cool. And that is, of course, Gundam. And we have the comparison of Char and Amuro. And Char just is the coolest dude in Gundam by a mile. He's got a cool helmet.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
enigmatic. He's complex. He's just got charisma. And he just is a way more compelling person that you want on screen compared to Amuro. And like, there's no question, like, who is bad and supposed to be good in this show. But he's the Red Comet is just an enigma that is awesome and way more iconic and like what made Gundam fun. So besides obviously the robot part of it. So the mystique of Char and just how bratty Amuro was makes Char a clear favorite in my eyes.
There are those mechas,
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
They're there.
They're
but
okay. I mean, they're okay.
Yeah, they do its thing. Like the RX, what is it, 78?
RX 78, baby.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I got a little one back there.
It's so
and
fucking cool.
it's rad. It's rad. But like, especially of that time period, a lot of the villains were so cheesy and corny. And Char just like, especially for that time, like did enough different to stand out. And he's a cool dude. And that's my number 3.
Number 2.
Caroline.
Here's one that I think everybody would put on their list, or like would be the most notable characters. I feel like that would probably be like, oh yeah, that one definitely has to be on there. And that has to be Askeladd and Thorfinn from
Agree.
Vinland Saga.
Hard agree.
Yes, great villain, obviously with a lot of drama between him and Thorfinn, but also Thorfinn's just a little asshole.
He's a little bitch. He's a little bitch.
He's just an adolescent asshole, which is understandable. Granted,
He does
what
get
he's
his
been
shit
through.
kicked a lot in that anime, though.
Yeah,
It's pretty fucking
he does.
funny.
He has some awesome moments. We're not going to lie. But Askeladd is much better than Thorfinn as a character, at least in the first season. We haven't gotten to the second season yet. And I'm expecting him to be a little bit better then. But all in all, you cannot lie that when you got a guy like Askeladd in your show, that he is going to be far more enjoyable to watch than Thorfinn.
Oh yeah.
This is one of those moments where the manga people are like, you gotta read the manga to like volume 73 because Thorfinn becomes so fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, he is pretty cool. He does some pretty cool shit. But Askeladd's cooler, at least in the first
Definitely.
season.
And
Bigger
very
is
handsome.
better.
There's no question.
There's
Also,
absolutely
he's like
no
one
question.
of the most conventionally handsome characters in that show.
He is handsome. He has great hair.
So handsome.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And he's very smart. He's very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Darth Rios from Twitch. Wait a year. Okay.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. I look forward to it.
You just don't
It
know
will be-
Thorfinn from volume 73, chapter 527, page 18. God damn it.
Well, when the second season come out, it'll probably be on the top of my impressions list. So I'm excited for it. And I can't really. It's been a while since I've seen the show, so I can't really point out some specific instances where he is just cooler. He's just cool. Like, come on,
he's
that's it.
fucking cool.
cool.
So is the guy who throws trees. He's pretty cool.
Oh, he yeah, he is.
Yeah, that guy's
He is.
like fucking unstoppable.
On shrooms as well.
All right. Well, I didn't think it would end up necessarily with me being last, so I'll take one for the team here, being number 1.
Number 1.
Although I don't know if it's really worth number 1 on the list, but I think for me it's the Angels versus the Ava Pilots. Shinji is such a whiny little jerk, and Asuka is such a little brat, and Rei has like 300 clones. It doesn't even matter if she dies.
Rei is a cardboard box.
And
There's
all the other
nothing to her.
characters. And all the other characters, don't you just want to watch like Shinji get fucking ripped apart? Wouldn't that be awesome?
I mean,
Don't you just want to watch Shinji get like his arms
then
torn
he
off?
cries more.
And he's got his arms just like, ah! Ah! There's just like blood squirting like a fountain. And she's like, my daddy! I hate my daddy! And his
Are you
dad's
okay?
like, his dad's sitting there with like a tourniquet, like a belt. He's like, oh, I could take this belt off my waist and put it around your arm so you don't bleed to death, son. But then my pants would fall down, and we can't have that. So get the fuck up. And he's like, I can't.
And Genji Ikari is a cool dude. His pants stay up.
I'm slipping in my own blood. Get a mop. Well, I have this mop over here, but, but I just can't. I just can't be bothered. So I'm going to sit here with my hands folded while you get torn apart by this Ava. So, yeah. But, like, and Asuka, Asuka's just as terrible. She's just like this brat the whole time. Yeah, you hate Asuka. Wouldn't you have to just watch Asuka get, like, her face ripped off?
I mean, not specifically, but I would rather not watch her.
Not specifically.
It's like, I don't like seeing people get torn apart. It's just, I just wish she wasn't like the way she is in this show. She's such a bitch.
She is such a bitch. That is the perfect word. Yeah. And
she might have trauma, but that trauma does not mean that she can be a bitch.
They're all cool. But I was going to say, here's a question, though. What is the best angel, and why is it Ramiel?
Why is it what?
I can't remember remember what they all look like or why they are.
The octahedron, the big blue dude who looks like a diamond.
He's the one that just floats around and shoots lasers or things?
Yeah. Best angel design by a country mile. He's so cool.
Why is he cool?
I love Ramiel.
I'm going to need more from you. Why is he so cool?
He just vibes. He just levitates and vibes and just wrecks shop like none other. And he just cool dude.
Is that the one that they throw the spear through it to destroy it?
Yeah, because I think they have to like get through like the AT field.
Yeah, and they had to get
the lance of so many details about the show.
The lance of Longinus for like, which is like obviously has some religious meaning because Ava's like secretly not religious, but they put it in there because they thought it was like cool and edgy according to the Gynax or whatever. So yeah.
Okay, so about Ava, like Neon Genesis Evangelion. So like I believe that the master plan is something about like melting all the minds of humanity into one being, right? Or something like that.
I mean, that's one of the states at the end, get that shared human consciousness to become the best we can be.
That is actually a very good description of how I felt watching the show. Like I cannot pick out a single like character arc, moment, scene, episode, really. It's all just one big conglomeration of what did I just watch?
Oh, it's so good. It's such a good show.
The original Ava is pretty fucking good until the end, but until that point in time, because the end just doesn't make any. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
And the end is good, and all of that is good.
You would
all
like
of Evangelion is my jam.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, some of the rebuilds weren't quite my taste, but I like Eva. Yeah.
Who's your favorite character, and why is it Toji the Stomach? Because that's you.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it is. You are the human. You eat for a family of 4.
That's true. That's true.
It's fantastic.
This man speaks no lies.
I went to a phenomenal breakfast place yesterday, Mason, and the next time you visit, we're going to go there because you will really like it. It was absolutely mind-blowing. So I don't want to spoil anything, but just let me tell you that delights of which you have never tasted are in your future.
Ooh.
I'm telling you.
I've never been so caroused in my life.
An amazing breakfast restaurant that I went to on Saturday.
Nice.
It's worth a trip.
I'm in. I'm booking the tickets now.
All right, Caroline. Caroline, you have an honorable mention. Who's left over on your list that never got picked?
Okay, that would be Anzu and Hina from Hina Matsuri. The reason being, Anzu is not really a villain throughout most of the show. She's introduced as a villain and kind of stays that way for like an episode, but she turns her life around. She gets adopted into this family that they own a Chinese restaurant. She's a hard worker. She never takes for granted anything that she has. She befriends the homeless community. She is just the perfect girl. She's basically the characters think of her as the perfect girl. And Hina is Hina. Hina's great. She's funny. She's hilarious. She's very deadpan. She eats everything in sight. She is very selfish. She'll try to do things for other people, but it doesn't work out because she is not exactly the smartest being. And that is why Anzu's better than her.
All right. For me, it's Fate Testarossa is better than Nanoha from the Nanoha series. Fate is just cooler. She's got a scythe. She wears black. She's got like cool blonde hair. She flies around. She's got the tough attitude. Nanoha is cool, and Nanoha has some unbelievable action, particularly in season 2. But Fate from season 1 is way too cool for Nanoha, and in my opinion, potentially should be the main character of that show. So, but then it wouldn't be called Magical Lyrical Nanoha. It would be called Magical Lyrical Fate. And that might be the last like magical girl show that I really thought was exceptional. I haven't seen a really solid magical girl anime in quite a while. So, maybe perhaps there are some that I just didn't watch, but that for me that's probably the last one that I watched and thought, wow, like this is a really good. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I would categorize like Revue Starlight as magical girl, but that was pretty good. I like that, and the movie was spectacular. But yeah, I don't know, a little different.
Right. And that's it. That's a top 10 list of villains that are better than main characters. Look, I'm sure there are others. I'm looking through my list, and I'm like, a lot of shows don't have a pronounced villain, right? Like, think about it. Dress Up Darling, no villain at all. Like,
rom-coms rarely have a villain.
Yeah, you don't need a villain in a lot of cases. So there's oftentimes not a villain, and when there is a villain, they're just not necessarily better than the hero in a lot of cases. Like, I was thinking, like, is Frieza better than Goku? No. Is Cell better than Goku? No, probably not. And so, like, even in that case, is
Vegeta
tough.
better than Goku?
No.
Really?
Well, I mean, Goku routinely whoops Vegeta's ass like a.
I mean, I think Vegeta's a better character than Goku.
I mean, he's a little more intricate.
But I don't cheer for him.
I think the best character in Dragon Ball is Future Trunks, but that's neither here nor there. But it's just there just aren't that many. But this is not a definitive list. There you may have others, but
the things that we like.
but
when I was trying to look up some ideas, I see so many Naruto villains, and I'm thinking to myself, these guys are overrated, man.
Oh boy!
And
notice how I don't think I saw any of Zabuza, which is probably one of the most touted Naruto villains of all, that actually has a decent backstory. But even though I didn't put him on my list. But then I see all these Madara, and then we got Itachi and yada yada yada. And I'm like, yeah, they're okay, but are they great? Not really, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Zabuza. He's pretty cool, but. All right, well, the chat asked, Captain Avatar asked, what did I thought of Strikers? The order of which Nanoha is good goes, the second season is by far the best. Then I'd say the first season after that, then Strikers, and then whatever the hell that was after Strikers, I don't even want to think about that. Nanoha Vivid or some shit, it was absolutely horrendous. Do not watch that. So, but Nanoha is pretty good. All right, get us out of here, Caroline.
All right, let's get out of here. So, in honor of the anime birdie wing, we want to know, in golf, how many shots under par is a condor? And we will answer the question after the news break.
Birdnoise.mp3.
Anime Addicts Mitsuki's here, and I'm bringing you your anime news break, which this week is pretty much just a list of new anime coming out because there's not a whole lot of actual real exciting news going on. The first is a 3-movie collection released by Studio Colorido and Netflix, which is going to be a co-production. This includes the Drifting Home film, So it looks like Tomotaka Shibayama is set to direct the original romance anime movie, and it's going to be streaming exclusively on Netflix worldwide in 2024. So there are images online that you can watch for the promo art if you're interested in seeing what it looks like. The planned movie has yet to be officially titled, but it will be a whimsical romance story taking place over the course of one winter. So if you are a fan of Studio Colorido or romance movies, look out for something coming out here that's going to be exclusively on Netflix in 2024. Next up, Sailor Moon is in the news. Sailor Moon gets a new 2-part movie in early of summer 2023. So this was announced at the 30th anniversary of Sailor Moon, which was pretty recent. And this 2-part movie is going to be adapting the Shadow Galactica arc, which is the final arc of the manga by Naoko Takeuchi. So it's going to be directed by Tomoya Takahashi of Gatchaman Crowds. The work is going to be done by Toei Animation and Studio Dean, Toei Animation having already been very involved in Sailor Moon. So if you're a fan of this, look out in 2023 for the Shadow Galactica arc adaptation. So that should be interesting. Next up, more anime adaptations. The light novel Hyoken no Majutsushi ga Sekai o Suberu, subtitled as The Ice Blade Sorcerer Shall Rule the World. This light novel is going to be made into an anime. It's going to be coming out in the winter season of 2023, so another for next year. Moki Shiba began writing this light novel fantasy back in 2019, so it's apparently very popular. And if you are interested in seeing this, you'll be able to watch it next year. Norihito Sasaki began drawing a manga adaptation on the magazine Pocket platform also in June 2020, so if you want to check that out. And lastly, finally, the manga Yusha ga Shinda Moribito no Ore ga Hotta Otoshinana ni Yusha ga Ochita Kekka, which has to be an isekai, subtitled as The Legendary Hero is Dead, is going to be coming out in 2023 as well. Rion Kujo of Hagure Yusha no Aesthetica is going to be doing the directing over at Studio Linden Films. And let's see if this is an isekai. In the far to the north of the world lies Hell's Gate, a portal formerly used by the demon lord to invade the human realm. Thanks to the legendary hero Shion Blade Arts, wielder of Excalibur and his royal band of companions, the gate was sealed. Unfortunately, the sealing was incomplete and began to weaken, and the demons started to escape once more. But fear not, Shion is on his way to reseal Hell's Gate and save humanity, or at least he was, because the legendary hero is dead, having fallen into one of the pitfalls that Toka dug, apparently. Luckily, dealing with the dead is the specialty of necromancer Henri Hainsworth. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I don't know if this is an isekai or not, but I'm guessing it is with a title like that. Lots of new anime coming out. If you are a fan of these, check them all out. This was Mitsuki. This was your anime news break. And now, time to get back to the podcast right now. You've been working hard at your job and you're driving home late. It's dark outside and your eyes are so very tired. I know, work is hard. But fear not, you have your podcast to listen to. Oh, what's that? You're all out of podcasts. Well, then on your way home, you'll probably accidentally catch a few seconds of shut-eye, drift off, and play the role of Truck-kun, sending some hapless person to an isekai world. Sounds fine, maybe, but they'll probably land butt naked in some town square and be ridiculed and harassed into a life of sadness and poverty. If only you had the AAA Podcast's extra content to listen to, we would have entertained you all the way to the safety of your home with our hentai episodes, our after parties, and our Hobby Addicts episodes. After all, who doesn't like to party? And what would keep you more entertained than talk of your favorite video games, TV series, and of course, anime boobies? Don't be a truck-coon. Head over to aaapodcast.com/join, or maybe you'll go to patreon.com/aaapodcast and support the show today. Again, that's aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon.
Hey, Steve Bloom here, voice of Spike Spiegel, Vincent Valentine, Leron from Gurren Lagann, Guillerman from Digimon, and a bunch of other crap. And I am a total anime addict, dude. Tune in, or else.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
Do I look like the CEO of Anime Hell? Okay, I am just a distributor. I merely provide anime hell with moe girls in the church of Mitsugi. I can't be expected to do everything, okay?
Oh, wow.
Times are tough. Hiring is difficult. We don't have a proper HR department. We don't have enough money to pay a reasonable salary. Everybody wants to work remote these days. What am I supposed to do, okay? You're just going to sit at home and play video games if you work remote. I can't have that happening. But then if I ask you to come into the office, you don't want to work. You don't want to apply for the job.
There's so many stairs to the pit of hell. Like, you have to go all the way down. You don't even have an elevator.
We have cube space, okay? It's there. But, that being said, I don't have enough manpower to actually determine where the moe girls go in the pit of hell. I only have enough manpower to provide Dear Anime Satan with the labor that he requires. So whatever he does with it, that's his business.
So you just kick them in. You don't really care what happens to them after
That's
that.
correct. There's a contractual agreement here. The red lines for the contract were very highly contested. He wanted me to determine where they go. I said, look, I don't have the manpower for that. I'm going to give you the anime girls, but you have to figure it out on your own. Listen, it's hell has a lot more resources than just one little church, okay? For God's sake, what do I look like? Welcome back to the podcast, my children. In honor of the anime Birdie Wing, Moe Filth, in golf, the church's favorite sport. We sponsor golfers. Did you know that? Mason, did you know that?
No, I did not.
Phil Mickelson, heard of him?
I've heard of him. He's my lefty boy. I'm a lefty just like him.
Sponsored.
Oh my
Jordan
goodness, you're
Spieth.
pulling.
You heard of Jordan Spieth?
I have. Don't tell me you've got to him too.
Sponsored.
Oh, they're in deep.
How
They're in
many
deep.
jelly beans is this? Is this 2 jelly beans?
There's just one.
Two.
Fear not, Caroline,
References.
for it is effectually 0 jelly beans for you. Thank you very much.
They're making references of things I
Why
don't
must
know.
I be surrounded by
I don't know
freaking
golf.
idiots? How many shots under par is a condor? Well, you'll know if you were in the church's pews, you would know certainly that a birdie is 1 under par, and an eagle is 2 under par, an albatross is 3 under par, and indeed a condor is 4 under par. So rare, in fact, that only 6 times in the history of golf has a condor occurred. And why are they all birds? I don't know. Throw me a freaking bone here.
Because the ball flies through the air.
Okay, and if you want to support the podcast, you will get our exclusive RSS feed. We have so much exclusive content for you. I haven't done any research on this, but I'm pretty confident that there is not a single other podcast on Earth that will give you almost 1,000 episodes of exclusive backlog content for only $7. That is not happening anywhere else. In fact, I feel like I'm being robbed here. I'm going to call Ring Video Doorbell, get it on my house, because you're just coming in here and robbing me every fucking day, okay? $7 for 1,000 episodes? You know how ridiculous that is? No, it's no wonder I can't afford a reasonable HR department. I'm giving away the house, okay? Unbelievable. And now you're going to get an exclusive RSS feed. You're going to get to put all this content on your favorite podcast apps, Podcast Addict, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Overcast FM. Why are there so many apps with the word cast in the title? Downcast. Holy shit. Unbelievable. Wherever you want it, just for you. Just do it, okay? You're making me sad. So, I'm talking to you. You're in your car, you're listening. You haven't done it. You make me sad, okay? So just do it, okay? You make me happy.
Just do it!
There you go. His career's over, pretty much. Yeah. All right. And now we have Unexplored Pictures with Mason. Fantastic drop from a fantastic man. Here we go. Are you ready, Mason?
I am.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
So good. It brings a smile to my face every time I hear it. This is a segment where I talk about movies new and old that you might not have heard of, or are just, you might have, and I just want to talk about them. This week's episode is a brand new film on Netflix. It was released on April 28th, so hot off the press. It is called Bubble.
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this.
Yeah, this is the big news. Caroline just had her bubble-shaped jelly bean. It is 141 minutes long. I had no knowledge going in. But the opening credits, gave me some expectations. We see Studio Wit, we see Hiroyuki Sawano, we see Tetsuro Araki, we see Gen Urobuchi. And if you're telling yourself, Mason, these names just sound Japanese to me. Cool. What about it? If you know that there's some pedigree and a certain flavor to the works of these guys. So I was like, okay, what are we going to get into? And essentially, it tells the story of a Tokyo, let's put it that way, where these giant bubbles have rained down from a parallel dimension, outer space. We're not too sure where they come from, but these bubbles drop in on us, and you're like, okay, cool, bubbles, great. And then they essentially explode, either causing damage from the explosion or just covering everything in water. And essentially Tokyo becomes submerged.
Is it like Bubble Man from Mega Man? He shoots his bubbles?
No.
Mega Man
but
2?
I guess if it was a really big Bubble Man, you could say it was like that.
Oh, okay.
So Bubble Man from Mega Man 2 comes in and just absolutely devastates Tokyo. And everyone is like, geez, this is uninhabitable. And they flee and they leave. And the only people who remain there are people who are displaced or orphans or people who really have nowhere else to go. So they kind of stay in the city in this submerged wasteland and participate in, this is what it's called, Battle Core, which is essentially aggressive parkour races across the city in which they bet their livelihoods and their supplies on the survival. Anyway, whatever. It's an excuse. Boy meets a bubble. Yep, it's not a boy meet girl story. Well, it eventually becomes one, but boy meets bubble, and they start kind of forming a relationship, and stuff happens, and that's kind of the setup for the show. And overall, the movie is probably not recommendable. It looks really good. There's no doubt about it. It's a little stiff, but Studio Wit does bring their A game. If you like Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, where it's more spectacle than substance, maybe it's more your style. There's definitely an attempted flex. There's a lot of POV shots, a lot of cool parkour scenes.
Oh no, there's some POV shots.
Yeah, there's some dicey CG and choppiness that made it not quite land for me. And there's a lot of this Fox edgy coolness, and some of it works. Parkour, you're like, okay, they just put it in there because kids love parkour these days. But it makes sense that they have to do that to get around when everything is just, a wasteland, and you can't it's like the floor is lava game. The floor is bubbles and water, and you can't touch it. So it kind of makes sense. You get this MC who's kind of he's the guy who just wears headphones all the time and is cool and mysterious, and you're like, okay, they just did that because it looks cool and it's edgy. But no, you can tell he definitely has just hypersensitive hearing, and he just talking kind of aggravates it, so it makes sense. They do write in explanations, and there's some cool concepts about mass extinction and the cyclical nature of existence of humans, coming together, separating, dividing, and coming back once again, and it's neat. That said, it does suffer some pitfalls first in the animation department. You remember how Vivi looked pretty good, but sometimes it got so over stylized and hyper realistic that it didn't quite match the show that it was attached to?
Yeah.
That happens quite a bit here. And it annoys me, but not as much really as just the character designs. I mean, we have just a scientist lady who just is the big boob lady, and she just gets shown like that all the time. You have the quote unquote quirky main character who just is dressed like a Tim Burton Japanese high school outfit.
Jesus.
And there's just lines where she's like, oh, she's quirky, let her in. And it's just it's too on the note, too just explanatory in its exposition instead of actually natural sounding dialogue. Not to mention the main character who spots a midriff, and the team captain that looks like a Pokemon Team Aqua character. I don't know, just the way the characters are drawn annoy me. When they blush, they just look like they all got drilled in the face with a volleyball. There's just a big red spot right on their nose, and you're like, is that what they're going for? Is that, I guess they chose to do it that way. So overall, Bubble, it's kind of a long watch for not much meat to it. There is some neat shots here and there, I'll give it that, but it's a very warbly story. It really isn't too satisfying. And besides a couple good animation cuts, I don't think there's much to it. And I think a lot of people have Netflix and they see a new movie and they're like, let me watch it. And I'm here to tell you, it's probably not worth almost 2 hours of your time, maybe even longer. So
Mason's here to tell you, don't watch it.
Give it a shot. If you can hear the line, Tokyo Battle Core is about independence, and not be like, that's probably cringe, give it a shot. But it wasn't for me. And if you did watch it, I hope you liked it. It's called Battle. Why?
Why not?
So
Why not?
pretty whatever. So it's a thing. And if I don't know, I guess I recommend it for people who liked Belle, similar kind of thing. A lot of songs, a lot of visuals, but not much content otherwise. So there you go. That's Bubble. Let me know if you've seen it.
Bubble, isn't it like Bubble Boy?
It's not as good as Bubble Boy.
Not as good as Bubble Boy. Wow.
They're both pretty bad.
That's pretty
Who's
rough.
Bubble Boy? This is probably a reference I need a jelly bean for.
Probably not. That's like a movie with Ashton Kutcher from like 20 years ago.
Okay, well, it's still a reference I'm not familiar with, so
There you
jelly
go.
bean it is.
Well, you're Caroline. You're barely a wee sligot in the world. Okay, you're such a youngster. Despite your eminent birthday, you are but a wee sligot.
Listen.
Okay.
I got a set of rules here that I need to follow.
Oh wow, she's
I did
very
not make
serious.
the rules.
Commit to the
It was the
cause.
Chinthir that made these.
There's people in the chat that are joining you in your Odyssey, except they are drinking beverages in solace.
Go right ahead.
You've got teams, but yeah, is it the worst movie ever? No, certainly not. It's better than a lot of efforts Netflix has put out recently. And
I got
if
work
you
to
have
do.
nothing to watch, it's right there and convenient. But doesn't get my already high bar seal of approval. So there you go.
All right, I got work to
What's
do.
You
next?
have just
Alan.
destroyed another fan favorite.
I'm
The
sorry.
destroyer of worlds, Gozer.
I'm sorry.
You a
like
god?
You are more destructive than these bubbles.
I am. I
Okay,
am the
well,
old man.
I
What's
try to
next?
think of something harmless, something from my childhood, something that can never possibly hurt us, from the camp of Camp Wakanda. That's right, Mr. Stay Puff.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
I have the Ghostbusters theme song
Anime.
stuck in my head now.
Anime.
Mailbag.
if you would like to submit an anime mailbag, you can do so at AAApodcast.com. Just click on the mailbag button and fire away any questions or comments that you would like to send us, like God Emperor Dune does on the regular. He says, or they say, "Greetings, fellow addicts. It is I, once again, your God Emperor of Dune. The question which I pose to you is, how close are you to becoming an anime expert? They say 10,000 hours makes one an expert in any field. And I thought it would be fun for each of you to check your AniList or Mal stats, which tells you how many days collectively you have spent watching anime. According to my AniList, I am at 4,450 hours, which puts me nearly halfway to expert status. Where do each of you stand?" And then he says, "Well, that is all from this mailbag. I wish you all well and send my appreciation for the worsening of my anime addiction." Of course. We love to do that for you. Mitsugi, where are you at?
4,040. So I'm doing okay.
Wow, it looks like God Emperor of Dune is towering over you.
Yeah, well, we can't all be winners. Apparently I am not.
Mm-hmm. Not nearly as much of a winner as Mason. Mason, what you got?
Definitely not.
I'm at 5,600 hours, so I'm just over halfway.
That's nice. How does it feel? Do you feel like you're half an expert?
I'm feeling like I'm just about to reach the point where I might start liking anime. I feel like any moment now, I'll get to the point where I'm like, oh, I understand it. But
Mason,
nope,
you just
hasn't hit yet.
Sorry, look, you just have to watch 6,000 hours of the show to like it. It'll get good eventually.
Yeah,
6,000 hours in, it'll get good.
I'm on the precipice. Any moment now. Oh, I can't wait to be an anime fan.
Well,
my
me in
dream.
comparison is a mere drop in the bucket with 1,594 hours.
Oh, you're such a
Just
wee
so
babe.
so sad. Like,
But
yeah,
it's
I'm
not
such
nothing.
I'm a baby weeb.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's
Well,
still important. Time. You might actually like anime. I don't know. No one
Someday.
likes
I'm not
anime.
sure. I feel like the more you watch it, the less you like it. Maybe that's what Hayao Miyazaki meant.
Yeah, that's why he's the no one likes anime why he doesn't like anime. He's seen so much. I don't
All right,
know.
what's the
Well,
next mailbag?
We got a second question here.
Next one comes from Raggedy Doctor. Hey AAA, we've come to know you as Mitsugi Mason and Caroline, but Cosmo using a different name for his YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's called Impressive Tony. Got me thinking, if you were to change your name for the podcast, what would you change it to? Um,
Despite popular belief, Kazuo is not his birth name. It is Tony.
Come on.
yeah, well, that makes sense though. So, this was back in the OG days of the podcast where everyone had a name that wasn't their own, because that was cool and fit with the theme. And then the traitorous.
Hey, what's up,
host
everybody? It's your
before
friendly
us
neighborhood
decided to go by their own name because they had the gumption of being called that before they were hosts, and now it just kind of stuck. So, I don't have a good name for it. I like decades ago, if I was if we had to go with my a name, I maybe would have gone by like Adam or something. But thank goodness I didn't, because Skate would have ruined me. I would have never heard the end of it. How about you, Caroline?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to make up names. I guess May. I like May.
May, huh? That's a nice name.
Yeah, I was born in May.
Big
My
Pokemon
birthday's
vibe.
tomorrow, so haha. It's also May Day.
I'll go with Slippy J.
Oh, I like
because
Slippy J.
Slippy J. Yeah. Slip and slide. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it Star Fox? Yeah, Slippy from Star Fox. That strikes me like you.
All of the characters in Star Fox except Fox are fucking worthless. They're just there to
Falco is
die.
really good at complaining, though.
They're just there to get their ships blown up every single battle.
I definitely associate with Falco. If we were to assign one of us to be members of Star Fox's crew, I'd still be just as useless as everyone else, but I would complain while being useless. So there we go.
Well, there's always that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for the mailbags, folks.
All right.
I just wanted to go by Slippy J now.
Slippy
Let's
J.
do what we're actually here to do, though.
Yeah, it's time for impressions. Are you guys ready?
Today,
Yeah.
we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it!
You better fucking believe it. Yeah, it's coming. All right. Today we have a lot of impressions for you. We're going to be doing Shield Hero Season 2, Tomodachi Game, Healer Girl, Aharen-san wa Hakarenai, Ao Ashi, Dance, and Danseur. Good Lord. What kind of name is that? Starting off with Shield Hero Season 2. So Shield Hero Season 2, what does one say about Shield Hero that hasn't already been said? Well, Shield Hero was an anime that came out originally quite a while ago. It has been gone for quite some time. Clear back in 2019. So we've been waiting roughly a little more than 3 years for Shield Hero. So a lot of time has passed since the anime that originally pissed everybody off was first airing. And now Season 2 has started, and it's pretty much picking up exactly where it left off in the world of Shield Hero, which is to say that this is like an isekai world where waves of monsters get summoned and attack cities and people in the world like on a timer, basically. And the waves get progressively stronger. And, it's almost like a tower defense, sort of. If you think about it, it's like the waves get gradually more and more powerful, and then eventually you get overtaken, I guess. And that's sort of what this anime is like. And at the end of the first season, there was like a very powerful wave that, you have to go watch it. But and in this anime, Naofumi, who is the shield hero, gets summoned with, the other heroes. I'm trying to remember, like sword hero, spear hero, and I think bow hero. And then it's like, you're like the shield hero. You can't, you can't fight because you just have a shield. And so he acquires Raptalia, who's like the raccoon girl that, is unbelievably polarizing. On my anime list, she says she's biologically, this is so great. I've never seen this. She's biologically 17 is what it says, and mentally 10.
I hate everything about that sentence.
That's weird.
Everything about all those words together makes me upset.
And so basically, and in this season, there is a giant, the bulk of the first 3 episodes of season 2 are about this giant tortoise that is collecting is a spirit tortoise that is huge. I mean, it's like the size of a castle, and it's awakened from its slumber and is causing havoc and is collecting souls, human souls, I guess, to use to quell the waves of monsters. But that is not exactly better than just having the monsters come and kill people, because you're just still killing people to solve this problem. And so the second and third episode are primarily like the preparation for and the battle against this giant tortoise, which is pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of like squabbling about like who's going to get to take credit for the fight, you know, beforehand. But then there's like this big battle that happens where you've got like armored dragon warriors riding and fighting this guy, and this one kingdom devotes like a bunch of artillery, so there's like ballistas and catapults. It's very medieval. And you know, then there's the shield hero and Raptalia and his crew, etc., etc. There's like magic people, and they all kind of like come together to fight this tortoise. And they like the tortoise starts whooping some ass. It's fucking huge. I mean, it's like hundreds of feet tall and very slow moving. And so they shoot at its leg, and because it's like it's a turtle. So if you shoot its leg out, like it's gonna fall. It can't. A turtle's not gonna stand on 3 legs, and so it falls. And you know, they get it down, but then it has like this power where it like shoots these like glowing barbs out of itself that explode, and it's just like raining these barbs on people. And then like, you know, and then they come up with a way to eventually defeat the tortoise. You know, or so they think, or whatever. And so, you know, the first episode of this anime was pretty bad, honestly. I mean, it was pretty bland. I mean, not very good. And then the second and third episode were gradually better and better. So the second episode was kind of mediocre, and then the third episode got a little better. Then it was the best episode of them all. And yeah, you know, honestly, this anime, I hate to tell you guys, you're gonna end up watching this no matter what you do. Shoot Hero it is the second highest watched anime of the season. One of you will pass the highest watched anime of the season, I'm 100% sure. And so I'm just gonna pass it because you're gonna watch it anyway.
No.
And honestly, I'd rather have a more interesting listener choice that's a little more unpredictable. And honestly, a lot of my anime suck, so they're not very good. And you know, at least this one has action in it. I'm not just watching 2 characters like go to the fucking mall every episode. It's like gouge my eyes out with a spear. Like I just want someone needs to put me out of my misery. I can't watch another episode of, you know, characters like just like walking around and going shopping. I just can't fucking handle it anymore. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. So
oh my goodness. What a start.
I'm sorry. Like I picked these anime based on the ones that you picked. It was the listeners. You're the ones that wanted me to do these impressions. And I picked them based on the order of popularity, and all they are these fucking shows where like characters go to the mall or like can't talk to each other in class or some just boring shit. So at least this one has a giant fucking turtle.
Hey,
I'm
that's...
not fucking leaving.
Okay.
The show goes on.
All right,
but
so
Siggy,
deal
at
with
this
it.
point, you surely must know that this habit of yours of just picking the top shows listed on
No, I don't do
my
that.
anime list or
This
whatever.
is the only time I've done that.
You have done that every single
Nope.
time that I've
No.
part of this
I look
show.
at the no.
You have just called
No.
it in,
No.
decided to do what the popular kids want, but you got to realize that the popular kids want crap.
Caroline,
Pick what you like.
my normal method is even less credible than this method. My normal method is just looking at the pictures and picking, and then hoping you guys pick all the good shit. So
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
but then you complain about it afterwards. You can't complain if this is what you choose to do to
I'm not
yourself.
complaining. I'm not complaining.
You have, no, you will.
No,
you have.
I got to
complained.
watch a giant
on our Discord. On like in our.
I got to watch
in
a
our
giant turtle
private
get its
group
head cut
chat,
off.
You said how much you hate the shows you picked this season.
How many times have you seen a giant turtle get its head cut off?
Okay, I'm not denying that the giant turtle might be fun, but
I'm
I
not
have
saying-
heard like I haven't seen Shield Hero season 2 yet, but I just have not
Well,
heard.
it's
great
not that
things on our
good, but
Discord.
it's not that good. But when 520,000 people are watching the show on my anime list, you're gonna watch it no matter what you do. And
True.
plus, this
But
is like
you
a show
will
that.
continue to complain. That is
No.
the problem.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You liar.
I'm good because
Okay.
I get to bury 5 or 6 rom-coms 7 feet under. See, it did an extra foot. Normally it's 6 feet. That's
I
not
don't
good
know.
enough.
I think that there might be a couple that peek through on the listener choice poll because you didn't pick them.
The zombie of Shikimori and Aharen will climb up through the dirt and revisit this terror. And so I'm burying them an extra foot down, okay? And I'm done.
No, you just guarantee that one of those are going to pass.
It could happen. I could be full of shit.
Mason, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I can go next. Jeez. I can't believe I'm going to fail some of my shows after this. My first one I want to talk about today is Love All Play, which is the badminton sports show. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. It's done by Studio OLM. And I didn't have huge expectations going into this. And coming out of 3 episodes, I think it's pretty solid. It does the thing. It is a sports show. They get right into it. They don't spend 5,000 episodes like explaining the motivations and getting into like the person starting a sport. Like the dude plays badminton and it starts off with the guy kind of a hard worker. He's kind of not confident in himself and he gets recruited by like the big badminton school and they're like, "Hey, come to us on a sports scholarship." And he's like, "Me? Really? Okay." And essentially he does. And they do badminton and I I'm not being biased just because I played badminton a bit growing up, but they do the thing. They do warm-ups, they do drills that they actually do. They do little like practice sessions that are easy to follow even if you're not a fan of badminton where they test their skills and there's very distinct, not like power levels, but kind of power levels. And it just captures the club elements of, people graduate and you have to train the new batch of freshmen as they enter. Like it does it all well. And there's a little bit of a slow start with like this whole like studying tryhard arc that's a little unneeded to the point of, trying to get to the badminton, but it looks good, it's solid, it sounds fine. The problem is it's just kind of forgettable. Kind of like the show Backflip where you watch it and you're like, this is kind of entertaining, but it's not going to inspire you. It's not going to stick with you. Like when this season ends and someone's like, "What were your favorites? What do you remember?" And you're like, there's a show, I don't really remember what it was like, but it was like there's not a lot sticks with you. It's not like a Haikyuu or Run with the Wind or one of the classics. So personally, I'm probably going to keep on watching it because it's not bad, but so far it hasn't shown that it has much to offer. And if it continues at this pace, I might even drop it down the road. But Love All Play, if you want a solid sports show, if badminton seems like kind of fun, as long as it doesn't do the Hanabado route and just go absolutely insane with the weird characters and motivations, it's fine. So I'm going to give it a fail, but it's definitely not egregious in any way.
I'm just looking forward to Reeman's Club.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. We have that one coming up. So which I haven't seen, and I haven't compared the two, but I'm interested based on what you said of that. So I don't think we need
According
another
to Captain
badminton
Avatar,
one.
he dropped it because it was so bad. But I mean, based on what I've seen, it was pretty good. So let's hope that he is just of bad taste.
And if Salaryman's Club is terrible, I'll be like, "Oh, Love All Play is so much better." But for now, put it on the back shelf. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you got, Caroline?
Oh, do we need another fail drop, or was that it?
That was it. I kind of talked over it because I'm a jerk. We'll edit it in post.
Okay, well, on the bottom of my list was Tomodachi Game, which honestly I was not expecting to pass, but I just needed something in my list, so here it is. This one is about a group of friends with the power of friendship. They are best friends to the very end, so trusting, so loving. They are just going to make it through it all. Of course, this is a group of high school students that are friends. They are friends, by the way. The power of friendship is strong with this friend group, apparently. Anyway, so one of them is poor. He has no money. That is his personality trait. And so he has just been working so hard to raise up the money to go on his class trip, which is like $700 or something like that. Expensive trip. He's finally got the money together. Everybody in the class hands in the money to the class presidents or the president and the vice president. Two of those people are two of his friends. This 5-person friend group. Our friends, by the way, they are best friends.
I'm
And
getting
so
big vibes of Tokyo Revengers, where we learned that his first girlfriend is dead. We're just
No,
repeating it.
they just beat you over the head with a stick on this whole friendship thing.
Gotcha.
Anywho,
Big
so
Tomodachi vibes.
everybody hands in the money, but amazingly enough, all of the money is stolen. Like everybody's money for this trip was stolen out of the locker of the vice president, or of the class, one of his friends. They are friends. Amazing that they put that much money into the hands of a single student, and like they don't give it to the teacher. Like, I realize it's a whole different. It's in Japan. They have a lot more power, the student council, I guess, but it still seems pretty stupid to me to put in the hands of all this money in the hands of a student. Either way, it has gone missing, and
Of course.
nobody knows who stole it. And then the group of 5 friends get called to the same place. They were all given letters from each other, quote unquote, telling them that they had to tell you something. So they all meet up in the same place. Turns out this is actually the doings of a secret organization. Obviously.
How much money is it?
I can't remember, to be honest. It's just, money for a school trip. And
Okay.
then the secret organization has this being that you will absolutely despise, Misaki. It is the character of a kid's show, and he looks like a CGI puppet. It's like of a kid, and Manabu-kun or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's evil, and he's just weird looking. I don't like him for obvious reasons. And they are told that they can play this game to put their friendship to the test because they are friends. And if they start to win these games, they'll win the money back from that was stolen. And it's like they didn't just play these certain games. Honestly, I had a hard time trying to keep up with how much money they were earning, how much money they were losing. And to be honest with you, I think you can probably guess that I was not having a fantastic time with this anime. This is an idea that's been done to death, and the characters are not all that inspiring, and they are best friends. They're friends, everyone. The power of friendship.
There's literally a section of Great Teacher Onizuka about money for the school trip getting taken.
Mm-hmm.
So this exact concept.
Are you saying that this anime is not original?
Well, I don't want to be I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but it might not. You fill in the blanks.
Yeah, it's just it's not great. I just couldn't really get through it. So yes, this is a fail.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay. Bye-bye, Tomodachi Game. You suck!
I knew it wasn't gonna pass.
All right. Are you up again, Mason?
I certainly can be. Okay. So I was trying to get all my sports shows out of the way because I picked quite a lot this season. I just was feeling like in the sporting mood. And I picked a little show called Fanfare of Adolescence. This is the horse jockey racing one.
God.
This Academy. It was an original done by Late Deuce, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And boy, it was real bad. So bad, in fact, I just swapped it out. I was just watched one episode. I'm like, nobody cares. It was just yikes, as expected. I mean,
the title says it all. It's like, really? The magnificence of youth. Like seikatsu wa subarashi. Oh,
wow.
Kimochi. Oh, oshiri to manko.
Okay, this is getting weird. I might have to eat a jelly bean after this.
Probably. That was
probably shouldn't. When in doubt, jelly bean out.
I like it.
Hiroki Sawano, like, he does some weird stuff, and man, it just was bad. So I replaced it with a show that I don't think any of us picked. Seemed interesting, called Healer Girl. This is a Studio 3 Hertz show. They have a unique style, that's for sure.
You went from the most cliche title ever to the most bland title ever.
It's really generic. Yeah.
Does she wear white?
Hyping on it in the chat. Kind of. They wear these like weird floppy
I love
dresses. Like if you were to make a ghost costume, but you pulled it down too tight and your head through, that's what it looks like. And it's essentially in this world where the power of song and singing induces healing properties that helps the body recover and restore. And it's 3 like apprentices at this clinic who are learning how to vocalize and breathe and do all these things so that they can properly treat patients with their singing. And it is actually way better than it sounds. And that's because the show sounds actually pretty good. The songs and vocal arrangements are compelling, very Disney-esque, but there's a lot of charm to the visuals and just the presentation of it. That said, you were laughing because Healer Girl sounds generic and doesn't do much. And yeah, it's just a fine show. Like, it's way better than it had any right to be, and that's why I switched it, because it deserves like a special shout out if you want something that's feel good. Literally, characters are making other people feel good, but it's just kind of a heartwarming show, and there's just nice songs. Like, if you're like really into Disney stuff, give it a shot. Like Pretty Cure, I don't know. There's just a charm to it. The characters are really expressive. In 3 Hertz, I like how their shows look. That said, there really is not much meat to this thing, and it is a little too campy, and I grew bored after just 2 episodes. So Healer Girl will get a fail, but it's a whole lot better than Fanfare of Adolescence, and at least it's got that going for it. So there you go. Double drop for the price of 1.
Boo! 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 Boo!
Oh my god, it's my turn. Again. All right. So here is a rom-com. Is it a rom-com? No, not classified as a rom, just a com, which makes sense. Aharen-san wa Hakarenai, or Aharen is indecipherable, which is an anime about 2 characters primarily. There is Reina Aharen as the titular character. And then there's Matsuboshi Raido. So, and in this anime, they sit next to each other in class. It's the first year of high school, and Raido wants to make friends, and he sits next to Aharen, who is like, God, how old is this character supposed to be? She looks fucking 6. I guess she's in high school. She must.
What's her biological age and what's her mental age?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't say. But if I had to guess, I would say her biological age is probably 15 or 16 because she's in high school, and her mental age is, I mean, she looks fucking 6. I mean, she's literally, when she stands in front of Raido, she comes up to his like belly, like his crotch, basically, the perfect height. and
You mix it. Another jelly bean just because you got to be weird
enjoy
and gross.
that. Yeah, well, you know what?
You just started getting it on my.
You know, they draw a lot of attention to his crotch in this season, so it's not just me. And so, yeah, the anime is really not good. I mean, it's a comedy. I didn't think it was very funny. Aharen is, it's like, I'm like, am I watching another school comedy show about a girl character who can't communicate? Because that's what this show is. Except Aharen like speaks so softly. She speaks so quietly that she can't be heard by anybody. And the comedy is so forced. It's like they have a wooden peg in its square shape, and just jamming into the circle, just hammering it in there as hard as they can. Because it's like episode 3, Raido's crotch. He comes to school with his fly unzipped. Don't look at me, Caroline. This is what happens. His fly is unzipped. He doesn't notice somehow, and he has like watermelons on his boxers. And at this point, Aharen has become very much a friend of Raido. And she's trying to like protect him. So they'll call on him in class. He stands up to read, and she'll like hold a book up in front of him so they can't see his crotch. And she's like trying to tell him that his fly's down. But like the comedy is so unintelligent that rather than just do any of a number of things that would instantly remedy this issue. Oh, Aharen says things. Whatever. Okay, the chat is telling me he has strawberries on his crotch. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I didn't get the fruit right. Okay. You know, make it 2 dangling cherries if you want. You know, that would be more appropriate. But rather than just like point at his crotch or write down on a piece of paper because she's she has the mobility in her arms to write things. She's, oh, I'm just gonna write. Oh, your fly is down. Or if I was in high school, they would say XYZ, examine your zipper. Or
I've never heard of that before.
Or or just point to it. No, that would ruin the comedy, because that would be the obvious 1 million out of 1 million people would just do that. But no, we have to like just skip those obvious things, and like we're gonna hold up like a book, or like she's gonna stand in front of him while he talks, or like all this stupid shit, and it's just dumb. And the anime goes nowhere. It's just like this show with no plot line. It's just boring. I don't think anybody will really miss it. And and Aharen's like the most intolerable moe blob on earth. And then her friend Mitsuki Oshiro is like this 7-foot tall redheaded chick who's like jealous of Raido because Aharen spends her time with Raido instead of her. And so like, which is like none of that feels natural either. And it's just not good. Although I think Raido is an okay character, he's pretty reasonable as a character. He's just like a normal guy who's trying to make friends. He's not weird in any way. He doesn't have any quirks really. He's just trying to make friends, trying to be a normal guy. But I will note that Pancake called this out. There is the scene where the legendary eraser drop does happen, where he picks the eraser up for her and puts it back on her desk. And that did seem to be the moment where the two clicked and started to become friends. Every romance or friendship in a school in Japan must begin with the dropping of an eraser. In this anime, this anime was no exception. But ultimately, it's not very good.
Shall not pass!
And I'm gonna put it as, since we're now counting dropped like hours on my anime list, I'm gonna put this down as 3 episodes dropped. And moving on.
All hail the magic Gomu.
Indeed.
What is that reference?
I don't know.
Now I have to eat another
I don't
drink
even know
for it.
that one.
It was not really even a reference. It was like the mix of like the magic conch from SpongeBob with Gomu, which is Japanese for eraser.
Okay,
It wasn't a reference, or funny. So
Funnier than Aharen Haga whatever. Anyway, blah 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 blah. You're up. You are whoever's up next. Go for it.
It's me. It is
go
me.
for it.
So, one of the things on my list was Ashi, which I don't really do a lot of sports shows, and I thought that this one would be at least a decent watch, and it is okay. So, it is about soccer. It is about our main character, Ashito. Is that his name? Or I forget. It's something to do with the name of the show. So anyway, he is a good soccer player. A very aggressive player, but he doesn't really like to strategize. He just tells his teammates, give me the ball. I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to score his points. You don't have to worry about a thing. So he is very full of himself. And his voice is just horrible. If you have seen, if you have heard of Black Clover, the main character, Asta, this is Asta 2.0. His voice is just not good. And that is one of the things that really kept me from liking the show, is that his character is a little bit irritating. His voice is very irritating. And unfortunately, he is the main character, so I hear it a lot. And so they're in a soccer game, he and his team, and he actually headbutts a player on purpose because, first of all, he verbally attacked his teammates, and he also badmouthed his mother, which, I mean, yeah, I would certainly want to hit somebody, but if you are a serious player in a game, that you love, that you are, you want to be the best of the best, don't headbutt your opponent. Just don't, because that made them lose the game. And also lost a pretty good shot of getting onto getting recruited for a really good soccer team. Anywho, so he's running laps and, trying to get over the fact that what he just did. And he comes across what he doesn't know is that he is one of the biggest soccer players in the world, or at least he used to be, and now he's the coach for Tokyo Espion
La
or something
Liga.
like that. So he's pretty cool. The coach is pretty great. I like his character. And so he shows him a certain soccer move that he works all night to get, and because of his determination and the fact that he's just interested in this character because he's the main character. It's kind of like the main character syndrome where everybody's obsessed with them for no other reason. He gives him an invitation to try out for the team. But the thing is that nobody, even all these people that are here to try out for the team, it's not guaranteed that any of them are going to get in because they are basically like the somewhat not as good players that they were scouting. And the other players that they actually want on the team, they just handed them or they got them into a contract like on the spot. So he's at the tryouts. He's trying to make friends with the other people trying out. You can probably guess who's going to make the team with him because it's really not all that surprising that eventually he will get onto this prestigious soccer team. And that's basically where I left it because it's just not for me. I do like certain sports shows, but this just felt like a kind of a chore to get through for me. I heard great things from other people. People love this show. They really like all the soccer references, so apparently they are doing something good. But the only thing that I liked about it was the coach, and even then he can get a little... So I'm going to fail it.
Here he comes to wreck the day! So I watched this one also, and I'm going to use my second pass on Ashi because I cannot let this one go. Amongst the pool of failed rock climbing shows, weightlifting shows, badminton shows, ice hockey shows, fucking baseball shows, what else have we had lately that are just not good? God, I don't know. I haven't seen a good sports anime in... 3 years probably. This is an anime that is pure sports. They don't give a fuck. There's no girls dancing in like skirts at halftime. There's no, I got to spend 15 episodes teaching you what baseball is. None of this shit. It's just Ace of Diamond style, straight up shonen sports. The main character is his name is Ashito Aoi. He doesn't scream in the dub, so you should. I watched the dub. I didn't even notice when I heard you say that. I was kind of surprised because the dub
is just like so much roughness for no reason.
It just seems. I don't know. Did you watch the dub?
No, I watched the sub.
Yeah, give the dub a try. I mean, his voice didn't bother me at all in the dub. But like it's like you said. I mean, you pretty much you gave the rundown. But This is just a hardcore sports show. I could feel my blood pumping when the coach was talking to him about how, I want to get a team together that'll take on Europe. I want to take on La Liga. I want to take on the best that the world has to offer. And it all starts with the junior team. This anime has the making of a very, very, very long anime. It could be very long. Because if the coach is serious and it all starts with like these kids, then it's going to go on for over 100 episodes probably. We'll never cover that much of it, but this is the show. This could be the show I've been waiting for, and so I'm going to jump in and use this one. I didn't think I'd be using my second pass so quickly, honestly, if I had to be honest with you, but I can't let this one go. It was too exciting of a watch, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
I knew you'd like this show far more than I did.
It's actually about sports. It's not about like all the other like stuff. And it is what it is, And so I've seen good soccer anime. Ginga A Kickoff is pretty good. Whistle is good. There's plenty of others as well. And maybe this one will join the ranks, or maybe it will be bad. I don't know, but I didn't think it seemed bad at first. And if they just stick to being about soccer, and the competitiveness of sports, it should be a good show. And so I will jump in and rescue that one from from euthanasia, as you would say if this was an animal shelter. You're up again, Mason.
Is this the last show of the day?
It is. It's all yours.
Well, this is also my last sports show of the picking. And, I didn't hate Love All Play, but it just wasn't pass worthy. Didn't love or even like Fanfare of Adolescence, so that definitely wasn't pass worthy. And I was like, I gotta got something to pass. Something to make me be like, yeah, this is what I come here for. And I've been hearing good things about Danseur, which was my, number 2 pick of the season. I was hyped for it. It's MAPPA, it's on Crunchyroll, and I was ready. And the show looks really good. Like, huge props, the opening dance number and the opening. It just, MAPPA really brought their A game at the beginning here. And although the music in both are a little bit questionable, like, it's worth at least checking out the first 3.5 minutes of the show, because it is a visual masterpiece. It's a spectacle, and it's really good.
It's a masterpiece?
The visuals for the first 3.5 minutes. There's a lot of it looks really good. And they did it. They, trusted that the dancing and the opening are impressive enough to withstand your thing. And even if you're not in the dance, it looks good and it's worth watching for sure. And throughout the show, I would say the background art is really fantastic. And while the eyes are certainly a choice, they have these arcs that cut through them that look weird, but they look good in the close-ups. They don't bother me. I feel like I would get used to them. I've seen some people complain. Not the end of the world. The show looks pretty good. But I think it's hard to explain because those memes about the what I watched, what I expected, and what I got? You know that meme? Mm-hmm. So I watched a show about anime dancing. What I expected was a show about anime dancing, but what I got was anime dancing. And it's like, well, okay, it's exactly what you signed up for. And it's true. But the problem is that the dialogue, the characters, the plot setup were just so anime. And I'm using that word as an insult. And you're like, Mason, you're an anime fan. That's how anime is. You should like it. But I don't. Because as much as I wanted to like the dancing here, just every other part about it was just not to my cup of tea. The background music was so tonally consistent with the show in that it was campy, it was schlocky, and it was just groan-worthy. That just fit the atmosphere that I couldn't take anything seriously. There's some good themes here, about toxic masculinity and the inevitable connection between dancing and martial arts. But that's all hidden under layers and layers of face-palming motivations and cliches that just I wanted it to be so much more, and it just fell into all the traps of girl jumps up in the air and does a spin, and guy sees her panties and is like, wow, she must really like me. I'll follow her to the thing and do oh my goodness. I wanted to like the show, and it just fell on its face so often. And it's not an incompetent show, and I could definitely see a lot of people enjoying this and voting it for listener's choice, and I wouldn't hate it. It's well done. A lot of moments are really solid, but it just, in between those peaks, the valleys are just push my buttons in all the ways that irritate me. So I just definitely would not continue the show on my own because the characters just, I don't want to root for them. I don't want to keep on watching with them, despite the story that they'll tell, and no doubt some great dance sequences to come. It just was a frustrating divide between good and bad. So I'm going to fail it. And we're going to fail all the 3 shows that I have today because sports are bad. All sports are ruined. They should be canceled. Just the MC. I liked Welcome to the Ballroom. I would recommend that show much more. But something about this was not to my liking. I get why people enjoy it, but I'm going to fail Dance Dance Dancer.
It is a travesty.
Yeah.
Well, so concludes the first round of impressions for this season. Ends with me and Mason being sorely disappointed and Mitsugi also being sorely disappointed, but nonetheless passed 2 shows already, using up both his passes.
I have terrible fucking shows. I mean, they are just terrible. I mean, all of these shows are just, from the golf anime that has vampires in it, to the Skeleton Knight anime that starts out in the first minute with a rape scene. It's just there's no salvation.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions.
It's just fucking brutal.
Really quick, let's
Oh my
explain
God.
to first time new listeners how this impression thing
Good
will
idea.
shake out. Who wants to do that? Me? Sure, why
Go
not?
ahead, Mason.
So we're gonna do 3 more episodes like this, where we run through all the other shows that we're doing impressions on. At the end of it, we will have 6 shows passed. Those 6 shows we're gonna do reviews of. But that's not enough shows to keep this podcast running. So there's gonna be 3 more slots out of all the shows out of the entire season that aren't like past its second season that you can vote for. Mitsuki is gonna put up a poll. Stay tuned. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Twitter. It's going to be on our website. It's going to be on Discord. It's going to be all over the place. And you can pick your 3 favorite shows, and all those votes get compiled, and the top 3 listener picks become also shows we will review. So if you were like, man, Mason, you are the biggest freaking idiot. Danseur is amazing. You guys should definitely not skip out on it. You're going to go on that poll. You're going to slap that vote. And if enough people think like you, we're going to have to review that to my chagrin. And that's how you get back at me for all my terrible takes. And then we'll have 9 shows to review, and then the cycle of life continues. So please stay tuned to get all the shows you want reviewed. Sound good? Good.
And,
That was a fantastic
now
summary.
That includes Shield Hero Season 2 and Ashi are 2 of the 2 past shows so far. And more will come, potentially, hopefully.
We only reviewed 2 shows this season.
I mean, if that's all that is good in this season, we shall see. But I have a feeling that there is.
What is good in
I've got
life?
I've got hope.
Yes,
Caroline,
me too.
Caroline, what is good in life?
Is this another reference?
It is.
Because I have to eat okay, what is it?
To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the
The Terminator?
lamentations of the women. Yes, this is good.
Jelly bean.
Jelly bean time.
Jelly bean.
There you go.
Arnold
Well-
would be proud.
Yeah, he would be.
Speaking of jelly beans, time to place your bets. How many jelly beans did I eat this episode?
I don't know, 25.
I'm still counting.
Too many.
Okay. So I've definitely missed some worthy tally marks. But according to my list, I've consumed 24 jelly beans. this
Oh my
episode.
god, I am the smartest man alive. That was a reference. Eat another one.
No, because then you'll be even more correct.
From Billy Madison. That's what it was. That's what it was from.
Fine. 25 jelly beans.
25, bringing the total to 57.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're almost 6% of the way through it.
I mean, I've been eating them like on other days
6%.
too.
We're 6%
So
through
more
the
than that has
1,000.
been eaten. But yeah, 25 jelly beans, yeah, for me. Okay, in closing, we're leaving. Bye. No. Make sure to follow us on our social media like Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and TikTok. And on Discord, we have plenty of great things going on, like Anime Club. We are watching like a movie of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I can't remember which one.
Oh,
it is,
wow.
but you can
It's
check
gotta
out.
be
It's
the
going
new
to be
one.
something that we can watch without any prior knowledge of the anime. So if you want to join us and watch a bit of Legends of the Galactic Heroes, you can do so by going to our Discord, clicking on the Anime Club chat, and we have all the information in our pinned notes. So please join us this Wednesday. And yeah, next week we'll have more spring impressions, and it's also Mother's Day, so maybe we'll do something themed for that.
Gotta appreciate
Nice.
the mothers out there.
Gotta.
Gotta.
So
All right.
thanks a lot for joining us, and we shall see you again next week on Twitch at 5 p.m. EDT.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.